Hey guys, this is Nick here again. Today I want to solve the problem of my garage door bottom seal. As you can see, there's a gap on the bottom. That's a gap that's big enough for a mouse to come in because my wife saw a couple mouse last winter. I can probably turn off the light. And you can see for my other garage doors also have this light. You can see the light coming from the outside. So I'm going to replace both of my garage doors bottom seal. And when I measured, it's about 9 feet for each of them. So I have two. I need something at least 18 feet. So look what did I get. I got a roll of the seal from almighty Amazon. This is a 20 feet here, so it should be enough for my whole job. And the good thing is, this roll, they have a center core piece. I'm going to put a link on the screen later, but so this one, when you roll it up, when you install it, it have a center core, and it would help to make this seal to last longer, and it's supposed to be stronger as well to make the seal. Okay, now I roll my garage door up. So this is my broken seal. You can see it's deformed quite a bit, and it's all broken to pieces, and especially on the right hand side it was even worse. And you can tell this is a single piece. It's just a piece of a rubber formed in this shape. And the trick of doing this whole job, I have to take off this metal piece, because this metal cover on the end, it blocks the sliding of this rubber seal. If I try to yank it, it has a little bit of movement. So the key is trying to just slide this whole thing out. By doing that, you need to remove this bottom clip for this garage door. And another trick, or things you need to watch, is where's my cable? So on the top, there's a spool of a cable on the top, and it has this wire coming down. This wire is the, okay, I don't know if you can see it. I'm pushing on the wires. It's actually moving it. I need to take off the wire from this clip and keep it somewhere temporarily, so it makes life easier when I reinstall it. And here's my car parked outside. It has the engine swapped in this vehicle. You can watch the other video, how did I swap this the Subaru 6-cylinder horizontal engines. Back to the topic. So this is the closer view of the spool. This is the wind spring, which is providing the assist for lifting up the gate. Because when the garage door, when it's trying to lift it up with the whole weight on it, the winch or the door opener just not strong enough, or you might not have enough power to lift the whole thing. So if you have a lifting power from the cables on both ends, it will make the lifting work a lot easier. And so you can see this cable is hooked around this pin, on this pin head. So if we just need to take this cable out of it and temporarily fix somewhere or hold it somewhere. I can probably use this hole, or I can use this hole on the top. I just don't want this cable to like getting loose and lost tension on it. And in the end, I have to re-spool it, like rewind it, which is the work I don't want to do. So the goal is take off the cable, and on the bottom side there are screws, or whatever you call it, like bolts or screws. Just need to take out 2 of the screws in the bottom, and yeah, then this clip should be off. Once the clip is off, you can see it's blocked on the end, this rubber piece. Then I should be able to have clearance, then I can start to slide this rubber seal out. So probably easier to lower my garage door when I do it. Okay, after some fighting, I took it off. Just use a screwdriver. Just trying to pry this thing out of the circle. Then just slowly walk it down to the outside edge. So I took it off. And I prepared a little like a wire. So I'm going to just temporarily get it here. Because you can tell this, if I let it go, it's wanting to like go out. Oops. You see, like I jumped the wire because you need to have all the wires like rounded, like screwed up pretty neatly. So this is a bad sign that I screwed up the neat winding. So I'm going to fix it up before I put this the cable back into the holes. So just need to remember that. And yeah, I'm going to temporarily hold the cable somewhere here using this the wire and lower down this garage door so to operating height. Then I can start to take off this clip. So as you can see, I just temporarily fixed the hook on the end of the cable, and you can see this wire is all loose. So before we put it back in, we're going to fix this wire first. Now I can focus on take off this bracket and expose the end of the seal, because without removing this bracket with this plate on the end, I can't expose to the slots, so I can start to slide this seal rubber pieces out. Let me lower it down first. Okay, now I lower it down a bit, so I just need to remove this. There's two of those bolts on there, and in my case it was a 3/8 or 10 millimeter. Oops, fall off. It's quite easy, so okay, I better use both hands. Oh, looks not bad. Okay, just took it off. There's actually 3 bolts, as you can see, 1, 2, 3. And when you take it off, it's gonna be like this. So you tilt it to the side and then slide it out. Okay, I lower it further down a little bit, and I can just slide it out a bit. I don't know if you can see it. It's a slidable. It's movable. So I just need to slide it from over there, slowly moving outwards, and just slide this whole thing out, little by little. And you can see it's sticking out a little bit already. Don't know if you can see it. These are 2 of the grooves. So the outside, this side is already broken, but the 2 of the grooves are going to be this new one here for these 2 ends. So it's like a T section. So with a little flat surface on the top, it's going to go into the groove and slide into it. So I just need to work it out little by little, and eventually I'll slide out. Another minute passed by. I made a huge progress. See? Super easy. What's getting caught is actually the other end. I have a piece of a rubber here. Like, it's not willing to budge. So that's what making the trouble for me. I just need to find a way to get rid of that piece, free up the groove. I might need a screwdriver to pry it out a little bit. And it should be fairly straightforward. Actually, what's stopping me is that old rusty screw in the bottom, which is being put in the way purposely to preventing this thing from sliding. So I just need to take out the screw, and the last piece should come out super easily. Now we found the problem. Well, I have to admit I made a boo-boo here, because when I was trying, I stripped that bolt pretty good. So no matter what I put on there, it just won't move. So I just went into the store, pick up a pack of a screw extractor or bolt extractor. Let's hope this is gonna work for me. Hey, guess what happened? I drilled a hole, then I used this tapping tool trying to remove it. It ended up twist off the head of the screw. And now we still have this stubborn piece sticking in there. Wow, what can I do now? Well, after some thinking, I think the only option is to remove this bracket on the left hand side, doing the same trick. Take off the cable, hook up somewhere, remove the bracket, and free up the end, and push out this piece of a rubber from this side. Okay, I removed the bracket, and I removed all the rubber piece get caught inside, because this the track is made of plastic, I think. And I tried my best to trying to knock that remaining part of the screw, like trying to flatten it or trying to push it all the way to the end, make my sliding a little bit easier. And I just don't know, I pried a little bit, hoping to make more room of it. And also I removed all the caught rubber pieces inside the groove. So let's, I run my screwdriver inside the groove, like it goes through. I just don't know if we have enough clearance for me to insert a new seal, but I think we can give a try. Because this corner piece is, I mean, where the screw was, it's deformed quite a bit. Not sure if you guys can catch it from the camera. It's actually widened and was flattened as well. So God knows if that new piece is going to stay or not. But I have to try it in first and then it will tell. Okay, let me put on the new seal and let's see how far I can go on this corner. Here's the new piece and here's the old piece. Old piece is just a flat piece of a rubber fold together. This new piece has like a round hole as a core, so it should be much stronger and hopefully it should last longer. Okay, then I'm going to start feeding from. Okay, I'm taking a break just in halfway. I find out if I move my ladder here using the top rail of the ladder to support this thing on the sand, it would make a tremendous help on this elevation. So it's less of a bending on the corner. I found out the seal I bought, the lip I bought, was a 1/4 inch lip, and I just made a comparison to my old one, and my old one is a little bit thicker or wider on this lip, so it might be the 5/16 instead of the 1/4 inch. So the 1/4 inch I bought supposed to be helpful when I was installing. Didn't happen. Well, maybe it's already made my life easier, because otherwise I might be going through hell right now. So that's another thing I don't know, because you have to take the old one off and do a measurement to find out what size of the lip that you'll have. So now it's too late. I'm already this far. I don't want to like stop and get a new one. So let's see, just install the whole thing and see what happens. Okay, I'll continue. All right, I'm taking another break. You can see it moved probably from here to there. It was not easy. The further you go, the more of the contact surface. So I think the friction just gets more and more. And it's a rubber, so it stretches. So I would usually go a little bit, it probably moved by 1 inch on this end. Then I'll use two hand, left hand on the left, trying to feed in, right hand just grabbing the middle portion of the rubber and just push to the right. It probably only moves a 1/2 inch every yank. So a couple yanks, it stops moving. Then you go to the far end, just stretches and pull forward, back and forth and back and forth. Slowly it's going there. So I'll keep going. All right, so I already made a cut. Under the help from my in-law, we made it, and actually luckily we passed through this gap, so it made all the way out. I left about like 3/4 inch overhanging on that side, and also about the same on this side. Okay, maybe I'll push inwards a bit. So what do you guys think? Looks pretty good. I think it should block the mice. No more mouse coming to the garage during the winter time. Okay, look at that. So don't know if you can see that. There's used to be the hole underneath there. I lifted it up about 1/2 inch. So in the bottom, it's sitting on top of this track now. So just in case, if in the future, because the lip of my seal is only 1/4 inch, and I think this gap was supposed to be a 5/16. So maybe in the winter time, if we have like water build up on the floor, so water can come here when it's -30 out there, it's gonna solidify, become ice, and ice going to attach to the seal. And if we were trying to press the button lifting the gate, it might pull this whole seal down. Hope that doesn't happen, but if that happens, I need to get a new piece of seal for the 5/16. But I don't need to take off this bracket anymore. I just need to like lower down to a certain area, then I start to moving it. So this would prevent the future headache. Okay, I did take my bracket off and put that axle into it and lift it up to the location. Then I putting those 3 bolts again. And I just noticed when I was not paying attention, all the cables just loosen up. Oh man, now it means I have to rewind them again, which I've tried to preventing that from happening in the beginning. Wow, what the hell. Okay, after some elbow grease, I have rewind all my cables. It starts from the right hand side. You have to catch every single groove and then move it one after another, and also give some initial tension and then attach it to the bracket, to the hook, because that's what provides initial lift when the whole gate is pretty heavy. So that winch over there is just not strong enough to lift the door, and unfortunately I have to just do that the other side as well. Okay, let's keep moving. All right, I just reinstalled the left side as well, and also I re-drilled the 3 holes for the bolts. Sorry, those are the self-tapping screws. Oh man, the winding is all loose again, so I have to rewind it and reattach the cable. So just repeat the work I just did on the right hand side, except the clearance is so little, it's going to be a little tough to work on this corner. But I can do it. I got the left side done as well. Let's see what happens now. Sounds a little rough. Might need some lubrication. That means I need some adjustment because I have the whole door sitting like a little crooked. Okay, let's see how to adjust it. Okay guys, I screwed up in big times. I was trying to adjust the uneven door, so I watched the video, I probably misunderstood it. So I start to adjusting the 2 of the mounting or locking screws for this wheel, and then I end up losing the tension from this big winding. So actually the shaft just sticks out this way, and the shaft was totally out of the bearing on that side. So this guy's moved all the way out, so not even in support anymore. And I was trying to close the door, and the garage door opener is not able to handle the difference, because I also lost one of the cables. So it was only having the left side has a cable hanging, and the shaft is out from the support, so it's a cantilever, and it just have error, just won't close the door. So I thought I would try to just manually close the door, then I'll adjust it. When I pulled this lever, the string, when I pulled it, this engaged. I didn't realize how heavy the door is, and the whole door just slammed down. When the door slammed down, it broke my this post, or the bar, the beam. It actually separated right around this area. It sheared one of the bolts. Luckily, I found a spare bolt. It fits the same size. Oh, sorry, it was that one. If you can see, there's a black one there. This guy's black because that's the spare one I found. Because literally this whole beam was bent over, and it just and if you can see, the right side of the top, like I-beam, the right side is bent upwards, because when this thing goes down, it get caught onto the chain on the other side. So the chain just jumped up towards the top and just bend that lip of that thing, the flange. So I fixed my beam for my garage door opener at this moment, and I still need to, and also I lose the tension on this spring, which is you have to be very, very careful. I didn't touch that wheel, but also I lose that wheel as well. I replaced the whole shaft back into where it's supposed to be. And now I just need to find a way to rewind this big spring and lock in for the tension, which is going to be a little tricky and dangerous. So let me figure out how to do that, and I'll give you guys some update. Man, it's pretty much like redoing the whole garage installation work now. All right, I did some research. This is a 7-foot tall garage door, same over there. They said 7-foot garage door, you need to wind the spring 30 quarter turns, which is, they said, 7.5 turns. So each 7 turns times 4, that equals to 28 quarter turns, plus 2 more quarter turn, which is 30 quarter turns. And I'm also need to pick up the slack on both of the cable, make sure they're pretty much has zero tension, or pick up all the slack. Then I can start to wind it. And then I also need to save, well, I found out what's the best way because I don't have any like winding bars, but I found out my 3/8 ratchet, it fits into the hole perfectly, and I also have a screwdriver can, not the best, but I can use it to turn as well. So I'll deal with what I have, which I also be very careful trying to do it, because the worst thing you want is this thing just slip and start to rewind itself, and also it could be like breaking the spring, which is going to be a huge snap and might hurt someone. So I'll be doing it very slowly and carefully. So let's see. All right, I pick up the slack on both sides of these the end drums or wheels. These set screws are 10mm square head screws, not like most of the video was saying like 11mm or 7/16 bolts. So maybe mine is a 9-foot single door garage, might be a little bit different from that. And next step will be start to winding the center spring. So let's see how easy that is. Okay, let's see. Looks not bad. Well, I skipped a lot of steps for you guys because there's lots of mess. First thing first, I did wind this middle spring because of I was using a torque wrench, not a like proper tension bar. I only did 5 turns. I mean 5 rotations, which is not enough torque for lifting the door. But I just worry about. I was using one of the screwdriver to hold in place, and I saw my screwdriver start to bend, which is low quality stuff. So I only made 5, and once I have a chance, I'm probably gonna do more. And after I wind my spring, the funny thing is that when I did a try, it was still have a gap on the left. The right is closed, the left is open, which means there's too much tension on the left spool or the cable. So what did I do is I pulled the tension on, like I tightened the winding on the big spring, which means release the tension on the wheel on the drum, and I locked it, which I use a pry bar and just let it go. Probably just it's trying to lock itself, so it's pointing bottom wise. It's binding by the door, by the wall. So if it locks the spring and release the tension on the wheel, and then I made the left is pretty much in tension, and the purpose is trying to reduce the tension on the right cable. So I loosened the lock or the set screw, the lock screws, and then I give a little slack on the right side. And now, after that, I just tied them up again, and it made both sides even. So that's how I did it. And another thing I spent a lot of time did was I was trying to remember I slammed the door down when I was trying to like manually close it. And later on, I was trying to pull it up and trying to like using this red string, trying to pull it up and engage onto my door opener. By pressing too hard, I actually compressed too much of the spring of this lock. In the middle piece, there's a piece sticking up. I don't know if you can see it. It sits in between this catcher on where the chain is. So when I pull this. There's a red string, the manual opening like too much. Maybe I can, well, I don't want to risk it anymore. The thing is that once I pulled, when I was pulling, so the pulling down was so hard, the middle clip, this little guy, you see that like it's sticking up a little bit. Inside I have a spring. The spring got compressed permanently. So it's not sticking up high enough to engage the latch or the catching thing on the chain. So the garage door with opener cannot catch this pulling stuff, this latch. So it just skipping through it. So I spent a lot of time trying to like I put in a screw right now, but before it was a rivet. So I drilled it out. Actually, I couldn't even drill it. It's so tiny. So I used a file flat on the surface here, and I dropped that thing and I'm putting a screw right now. And also take the spring out, stretch it, put it back into the tension where it could be, and reinstall it. So that's a lot of time I spent trying to fix the boo-boo I made earlier. So finally things back to normal, but because the tension or the winding spring didn't give enough attention, it didn't have enough assistance to lift the door, so my door opener has to work a little harder. Okay, open the door again. Yeah. So you can see the speed is quite slow, and the electric motor is working pretty hard trying to open it up. But it worked. Okay. And I'm pretty happy with this new strip. It looks solid, it looks pretty strong, and it should last for a while. Okay, so I'll end my video right now here. So this is a small project turning into a large project, and hopefully you guys will learn from my mistake, and hopefully it's helpful for you guys. Okay, thanks for watching. See you guys later. Okay, I would like to give you guys some hint for the future jobs. If you have a similar situation, you have a bracket sitting on the end, instead of messing with all the cables and doing all that extra stuff, which is causing a huge headache, what I recommend to do, you're gonna take off that 3 bolts, and then don't take anything apart. Just move it up just by like a 1/2 inch, and then re-drill and tap into the sheet metal. So you're just lifting this whole bracket up, and then making enough clearance for this the rubber seals to be able to slide outwards. And don't do anything else. And hopefully that's gonna be the easiest way to deal with a situation like this. Avoiding all the headaches that I went through. I went the hard way. I did all the extra work, which is for nothing. So that's the lesson learned. Good luck, guys.